All right, this is another little short tutorial video because you may be wondering, what is that little green flag or blue flag next to an assignment? That has to do with Turnitin. Turnitin is where teachers like myself will automatically set it up in the gradebook to where when you submit a written assignment, that it goes to Turnitin. Turnitin.com is a source that many English teachers use and other teachers as well to check for plagiarism, because plagiarism is an absolute no-no. In some cultures, you're used to sharing everything without giving credit to anybody, but when it comes to writing, and it doesn't matter what culture you're in with writing, when you cite or give a quote or a summarization or a paraphrasing of another person's work or ideas, you have to give credit to that person. So that's all part of the citation stuff that you learned with the reader's response paper that you turned in, where you need to cite or quote somebody, either Carr or another author, from their article, either a direct quote or paraphrase or summarization, and then you needed to put in parenthetical citations giving credit to that author, because they're not your words, they're not your ideas, so therefore you have to give credit. So when you turn that paper in, so let's go to the grades, you will see a little flag. This is just for a test student. So you notice there's a lot of missing assignments for this test student. But this one here that I turned in today, this little green flag here, you can get that originality report yourself. I do look at this originality report. Green is actually really good. It means it's a low percentage. If it's red, yellow, orange, that's not good. That's a high percentage. You really want your originality report to be 10% or less. Now, if you are citing everything correctly and you have quotations around it, you have your parenthetical citation for direct quotes and things like that, then you don't need to worry. And I'll show you what I mean here. I'm also going to show you what it looks like to do correct MLA formatting for a longer quote, because I purposely put a longer quote in this paper that I did as an example. So you press on that little flag, then you have this little end user license agreement, press agree. And now it's going to take you to, all right, well, I really don't want this. Well, apparently I should have went through the tutorial first before this video, but it's telling you everything of what's in the paper. All right, good, and good to go. So this is my paper. If you notice, I put in the last name with the page number up here in the header, and then for the heading, I put the first and last name of the student, my name as the instructor, the class title, then the date of the assignment that it was due. Then I have my title here. So over here is where we want to look. You notice it has 2. 2 is 2%. So there's a 2% match in here. I want to see where it matches. So I press on that 2 and it comes up with submitted at Weber State. So I press on this, and so the paper was submitted at Weber State University, which is kind of interesting because it's actually a direct quote from Carr's article that it put it, but it's showing that yes, it is a match there. So, so you're going down, and it actually puts in some things for spelling as well, which is interesting because I copied and pasted this quote directly. But nonetheless, this is how you set up a longer quote, a quote that is 4 lines or longer. So you need to have a quote lead in here, okay? I chose to put the author's name right here, so I will not put the author's name down here in the parenthetical citation. But if you notice, I put a colon after my quote lead in, then I indented the whole quote. Again, this is on the Purdue OWL website for how to do quotations. And then also for the in-text citation, it shows you how to do it correctly down here, which I got this quote from page 2 of the article, and then my period goes after. But if you notice on a longer quote, you don't need the quote marks. because of the full indentation here, I know that is a longer quote. For a shorter quote, you absolutely need the quote marks. Again, please go to the Purdue OWL website. Everything is laid out there in correct formatting. So I started my paper out with a good introductory aspects, went into the quote, then I explained the quote. This is also very important, to explain your quote. How and why does this quote contribute to what I want to say on the topic? Okay, and again, this is all set up to help you when you get to the larger writing of your argumentative paper, or the longer writing, I should say. So then I go down and now I'm going to go into my second article. Okay, I just made this up here just for factor. However, so now I'm giving an alternative viewpoint. Okay, in Susie Q's article, she has a whole different viewpoint because again, you want at least 3 viewpoints. In this particular smaller assignment, you only have 2. You have Carr's article and then Susie Q's article. And then I would go in and I would explain Susie Q's viewpoint and how I either agree or disagree with it, and put in a quote and explain that as well if I were to finish this paper. And then if you notice, the page number changes to page 2. The last thing you need is that works cited page. This is part of that MLA formatting. So this is a correctly formatted citation for Carr's article, and then it would be Susie Q again, alphabetical order CQ. Okay, and then the rest of the information, the source would go here. And again, that's a made-up source that I put there. That's why I just put that there. All right, so hopefully this helps you to understand what that little flag is for, along with how to set up a written response and or your paper for an essay. If you have any questions, feel free to answer them below.